we meet the great patriarch Abraham. If Abraham had a family reunion in this 21st century, Jews, Muslims, and Christians from every corner of the world would gather. These three Abrahamic religions claim Abraham as their patriarch. Our readings this week introduce us to this towering figure when he was an ordinary old man, long before he had a shot at being a patriarch. In fact, his name was not Abraham, but Abram. And he lived in the Mesopotamian city of Haran. Abram would later not only change his location, but God would change his name to reflect his new covenant-keeping adventure with God. It was in Haran that Abram heard God's invitation to go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse. And he knew all the families of the earth shall be blessed. One might wonder how strange that the Creator would pick one small group of people to be his favorites. However, this was not a problem to ancient Hebrews. It made complete sense because Yahweh was their God. Other people had their gods and goddesses. At the time they became God's chosen people, the Israelites thought the gods and goddesses of other people existed. However, they believed that they were not just a chosen people, they were a choosing people. They had chosen Yahweh as their God, living by Yahweh's covenant. The covenant made to Abraham is passed throughout generations. In the covenant is the promise to be a blessing to all families of the earth, a light to all nations. This divine choice of Abraham is therefore not just making one group of people superior, but choosing an individual who will produce a family that will ultimately be a blessing to all people of the earth. The divine choice of Abraham is supposed to be good for all humanity. Scholars have emphasized that Abraham's descendants are not to live by themselves or only for themselves. They are chosen to be a blessing for all peoples. The prophet known as 2nd Isaiah understands this covenant aspect of a calling to be a blessing to other nations. 2nd Isaiah wrote, I have given you as a covenant to the people, a light to the nations. And again, I will give you as a light to the nations that my salvation may reach to the end of the earth. The parable of Jonah also addresses the covenant to be a blessing to all peoples of the earth. Jonah was to call the chosen people to account for not being the obedient people to the covenant and carrying out their mission to all the earth's people. In that parable, we see the challenge and difficulty of being chosen to be a blessing to one's historical enemy. To be a covenant people, a chosen people, is to recognize that God cares for all people and to be a witness to God's caring love for all.